Hi, thanks for joining me today. I'm Melanie from Yoga Within. Make yourself comfortable. You can sit up or lie down. Remember, it's all about finding ease in your body so we can start to find a bit of peace in our mind. So if you are lying down, support your head, your neck if you need to with a little blanket or something. If you're sitting up, adjust your sit bones. And just start by taking a long, deep breath in. And a long surrendering exhalation. Just once more, breathing in. And then try to give yourself permission to let go as you exhale. Breathing in and breathing out. Letting the mind begin to slow down. Letting the body soften. Just letting the mind follow the gentle rhythm of the breath. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Breath by breath, the thoughts drift by. And those thoughts, they do find their way back. But we have the ability to come back to that place of I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Just trying to surrender those thoughts. Giving yourself these moments of stillness. Slowly, breath by breath, awareness begins to return. Gentle movement can begin to find its way back into your body, just however you need it to return, perhaps wiggling the fingers and wiggling the toes, rotating wrists and ankles, making those circles as big as you can. Get some movement into your joints this morning. Go both directions. Bring some movement into the head, side to side, but also up and down. Just noticing, how does my neck feel today? Then take a big deep breath in and just tighten and stretch your whole body like you've never tightened it before. And a big, long, loud exhale as you release. Try that one more time. Tighten everything just as tight as you can. Squeeze your eyes, your jaw, your nose, your ears, your toes. And then a long, loud letting go exhale. Good. Bounce out into your knees. If you're in a seated position, find your way gently onto your back. If you're on your back and your knees are not already bent, bend them. Readjust your neck. Decide if you need that bit of support under it or not. Let the knees rock gently from side to side. Just really taking a few breaths in and a few breaths out. Establishing where should your foundation be, which is your feet, your arms, your head, your shoulders, the glutes. Try to keep the weight as even as you can. The next time the knees are over to the right, let the movement stop. And just take a breath or two. That left glute might be lifting right up. Try to readjust your legs so that you can let it settle down. Might not be flat on the ground, but just notice. Connect top and bottom half right here at the core, at the very heart, the center of your body. And then come back to the center and readjust. Go over to the other side, walking your feet. Maybe your heels are up close to the body or a little farther away. And you'll know what feels right. And if you don't know, take time to start to discover that, because that's what your practice is, a place of self-discovery. Come back to the center and just repeat that once more time on each side. Now you may find that you need a little bit of props, maybe something under both knees, maybe a bolster. Back to the center, and last time, over to that other side. Listen to your breath. Your breath tells you your story. And the more you can let the mind follow the waves of the breath, the more this practice truly does become a moving meditation. Bring it back to the center, readjust the low back, and then bring your thighs into your chest, supporting either the backs of the thighs if your knees bother you, or your shins, or your feet, head up or down. Rocking or not, knees and feet close together or farther apart. Really, how do you know what you need today unless you go through a little bit of self-exploration? And then place your feet on the floor. Stretch your legs out along the mat. And as we come into this pose, a lot of you know it as banana asana, where you're making the shape of a banana or a croissant, a crescent moon. You take both legs and you move them over to the right. You keep both glutes firmly planted on the ground. And then you take your upper body and move it to the right. So you're really coming into a supported side bend. Work with your breath. Both shoulders are on the ground. Now this is where you may want to explore some movement in the hands. And it might just be hands resting on the belly, making sure you don't have an overarch in your low back. Could be that outside, that left arm coming up and the right arm down. Or perhaps both elbows bent, or even hands behind the head. You may want to take that outside leg and cross the ankles. Or you may want to take the inside leg and cross the ankles. Really explore. Your head can look down. It can look center. It can turn to the left. But work with your breathing. Try to let the ribs soften so you're not overarching the back. You know, it could be toes pointed or feet flexed. And really the only way you know is by exploring the movement. Where do you get that opening across the upper back? If the ankles are crossed, uncross. Release the arms. Bring everything back to the center, to that nice straight spine. Now you may want to pause for a moment and bring the thighs up into the chest. Just rock it out. Then place your feet on the floor. Extend your legs out again. Open the arms, palms up or down. Where do you have the most support? Move both legs to the left. Keep both glutes on the ground. And then move your upper body and your arms to the left. And again, go through that place of self-discovery. Is that right glute lifting? If it is, press it down and out. Again, you might want to bring the right arm up, lower the left, or bend both elbows, place the hands under the head. If the ribs are thrusting and you're in a back bend position, stabilize at the core, at the center of your body. You might want to cross that outside ankle over, press through the heels or point the toes. What feels the best for you? Looking right, center, left, up or down, maybe pointing the toes, but really working with your breath, making sure your body is strong, at ease, that your breath is telling you the story of you, and that your mind is present. Just follow that rhythm of your breath. And then uncross if you were crossed. Bring everything back to the center, to that neutral position. Bend the knees, place the foot soles on the floor, reposition your low back, either rock the knees out a bit or bring the thighs to the chest, nose to knees. What do you need? Some of you may even find that you're ready for a happy baby position with a bit of rocking. You know that what you do is up to you. You're in charge. Don't listen to what I'm telling you. Listen to the cues you're getting from your body. If there's injuries, be respectful of that and know that you should always check with your doctor first. Stop at any time you need to stop. From here, with the feet off the floor, go into that kind of chair position where the knees are above the hips and the feet are flexed. Place your palms on your thighs and press your palms into your thighs. Press your shoulders down to the mat. Drop the ribs, engage at the core. Good, and you can stay here, pressing palms to thighs, thighs to palms. Or you can breathe in, and as you breathe out, extend that left leg forward and slightly down. Keep the hips even. Bring it back and extend the right leg. Breathing in, breathing out. Bring it back. If you want, you can release your arms to this goalpost position. Left leg presses forward, right hip drops, ribs drop, the natural curve of your spine. So get that low back pressing downward. And then bring the left in, extend the right. Breathing, breathing. If you need more, go a little lower, but don't go lower at the expense of the back. Keep a slight bend in the right knee. Bring it back. Repeat left. Breathing, natural curve of the spine, which includes the neck. Bring it in and then do the right. Good. Keep breathing. Bring it in. Bring thighs into chest. Rock it out. So the option is to continue doing exactly what we were doing, or bring the knees back to the 90. Bring the arms back to the goalpost. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, legs straighten, torso comes up, arms straighten. Breathe in, knees bend, arms down. Breathe out, coming up. Do 105, or do 4 or 5 more. Keeping your breath, keeping the legs strong. Know what you're doing is meant to be for your benefit, not for mine. So if it's causing you pain, you ask yourself, why do I keep doing it? If you're not feeling anything, well, then you need to explore, how can I change this? Remember, it's all about creating transformation. Try one more. Finish on the ground, thighs to chest, hands to backs of thighs, maybe holding the ankles, and then just rocking that out in happy baby or whatever feels best. You can always put your feet on the floor and rock from side to side. That's good. And then to come up to a seated position, you can roll over onto one side to come up, or do 7 or 8 of these spinal rocks, keeping your chin tipping down slightly, keeping your breath. And once you get up to a seated position, reposition. So if you do need those props to lift the hips and tilt the pelvis, do that. Roll the shoulders back a few times. Roll them forwards a few times. Then bring both shoulders up into the ears. Take a deep breath in. And a long, loud as you release. One more time, breathe in and breathe out. Interlace your fingers and just bring your knuckles under your chin. Just have a long spine. And as you inhale, let the elbows open, lift the chin up and move into a very gentle back. As you exhale, chin drops down, elbows come towards each other, round. So an inhale, as you lift, opening the chest, lightly squeezing the shoulder blades, natural curve in the neck. Exhale, elbows come in, torso rounds, leaning, chin towards chest. Inhale, warming up the spine, lengthening the neck, stretching through the neckline. Exhale, round, round, round. Inhale, open, open, open. Exhale, squeeze the air out of the lower abdominals, massage into the internal organs, lengthen the neck. Last time, inhaling right from the very base of the spine, and exhale, round. Bring yourself up to a nice straight spine. Place your hands on your knees. Go into some little circles. Try to get some movement in your shoulders. Use the hands for a bit of stability. Move as fast or as slow as you need to move. Just really putting some effort into the movement. It's not about how many you do, how fast you go. And then reverse, go the other way. And there's days where you keep the glutes firmly rooted and the weight even, and there's other days where it just feels good and safe to rock from glute to glute. Once you're back at the center, let the movement stop. Bring the knees up, stretch the legs out. Walk the bottom back a step or two, let the legs rock, just like a big bowl of jelly. It's good, let the knees bend, tip the torso over the thighs. So remember, as you come into the forward fold, rather than folding at the bottom of the rib cage, lift, walk the bottom back. You know, this might be the forward fold that you need today, even though you know you can get your legs straight. Give yourself what feels the best, that creates some change in the state of mind, in the physical body. And then, you know, if it's a day where there's a little bit of leg straightening, that's great too. A little bit of rocking can let you release. Take one more breath in, one more breath out, remembering how you hold your feet has a relationship to how you use your shoulders. Use your drishti, the power of your gaze, your eyes, and then bring yourself all the way up, rolling those shoulders back and forward a few times, bouncing out the knees. Good, and then take the right leg out, bring the left in, and readjust. Good. Walk your fingertips out. If you're lifting this right heel up, root it down and draw it in towards the hips slightly. Start to walk over to the left, put the right hand on the hip and bend into that left elbow. Keep the weight even on both glutes and the neck in line with the spine. Bring yourself up. And go over to the right. Again, you can bring the hand to the hip if that feels good. This right hand, it's like it pulls towards the hip. Bring yourself up. You can keep repeating that, or walk the fingers out, bring the right arm up and bend to the left. Shoulders drop, head doesn't move away from the arm. A breath in brings you up, and you breathe out. Bending to the right, left arm comes up, left glute is down. Breathe in, come up, and breathe out, other side. Weights even on the glutes because you really want to lift, I can see. Drop your shoulders, don't hang that head. All the way back up. Last time, coming over to the right. Good, breathe. Breathe, torso slightly rotates around the spine. Bring yourself up. Bring that right hand across to the left knee and the left hand behind. Again, you probably want to lift the right glute, drop it down, breathe into your back body. Don't force the breath, just bring awareness to it. Come back to the center, twist to the right. So switch your arms, left to right leg, right behind. Breathe into the back body, chins parallel to the floor. One more twist in each direction, twisting left. Torso rotates around the spine, shoulders open. Use the power of your drishti. Look out of the corners of your eyes. Coming all the way back over to the right. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And back to the center. Walk the fingers forward. Perhaps you can come down to your elbows, maybe not. If the bottom's lifting, root into your foundation. Some of you may be able to walk the hands farther out, go up on your spider fingertips, and bring the ears between the arms. Really get some shoulder stability happening here. Palms down, walk yourself back up and switch your legs. Right comes in, left goes out. Make the adjustments. If you need a prop, put it under the right knee or put it under the left knee. Fingertips walk out, walking over to the right, left hand on left hip. And that's just to bring that awareness. Are you lifting? Keep rooted, gentle side bend, breathing. Don't let that left heel lift. Bring yourself up, over to the left, right hand on the hip, head's not hanging. Breathing, use your toes. You have 10 of them, use them all. Keep doing that, or add the arm movement, bringing that left arm up, bending into the right elbow, not lifting that left glute. Coming up and over, breathing. Straight line of energy through the spine. Breathe all the way up, staying solid, connected at the core, the center of the body. Drop your shoulders. Know what the posture is meant to be teaching you. And work it from the inside out. Don't worry so much about what it looks like. What does it feel like? Can you feel the shoulders drawing down lightly, the ribs dropping gently, the breath moving through you, knowing that every breath creates such a subtle movement. Bringing yourself up and moving into the twist, left to right, right behind. Breathe into the back body. Neck is the last thing to turn. Look out of the corners of the eyes. Back to the center, twisting to the left. Really make sure that this twist isn't a back bend. Press through that left big toe mount. Strong legs, strong feet, strong foundation. Once more in each direction. How you use your arms will have that relationship to your shoulders. Not embedding your fingertips into your leg, but know that you have them. Back to the center, last time to the left. Shoulders drop. Body is strong, mind is present. When you learn the strength on the mat, that continues with you off the mat. Back to the center, coming forward, keeping firmly grounded, firmly rooted. Palms might come down as the weight even. Elbows might come down as the weight even. Have you lifted the glutes? Send them back. Walk forward, perhaps up onto the fingertips. Draw the shoulders down. Maybe you can lift the fingers knowing clearly what is holding you there. Take one more breath in, open the chest, one more breath out, and then bring yourself back up. Bring that left foot in and rock it out. And again, you might have a block underneath you to get those hips lifted. It prevents, if you're in this position, you can really get those hips up and come forward from the hip creases. Just go into a gentle forward fold. And then bring yourself up. Bring the knees up, stretch the legs out, bounce them out. Swing your legs behind you and come onto your hands and knees. So remember, you can put padding under your knees if you need it. You can always go down to your elbows if you like. Just let your hips sway a bit from side to side. And this helps you establish your foundation. Where do your hands need to be? A little wider apart, perhaps. Get that movement going. Try to root into all 10 of your toes. Good. Come back to the center. As you exhale, tuck the tail, squeeze the air out of the lower abdominals. Now I can feel my hands too far forward, so I slide them back. Then lifting the tail, expanding the belly, lifting the chest, roll the eyeballs up. Move through that a couple of times, just establishing your spine and how it feels for you today. The eyes of the elbows are just ever so slightly in so the shoulders can move apart. Working the spine, working into the upper back, lengthening the neck. When you finish in this tucked, rounded position. Tuck your 10 toes in, send your bottom back to your heels, stay there, or lift the knees and find downward dog, walking that downward dog out. Remember your options, they're there for you, and it's up to you to decide what's the best option for you today. Bring your knees down to the floor again. It's good, reestablish your hands. I know for myself, I need my hands a little wider. Place the tops of the feet on the floor, then tuck your right toes under and slide your right leg back. Bring the right leg out to the right and put the foot sole flat on the floor. So if you think about the toes coming across in line with the left knee. It's good, then lift the heel, lower the heel. Keep the core of the body strong, so the natural curve, lift and lower a couple of times. Keep that left knee below the left hip. Now slide that right leg back, keep the toes tucked, press through the heel, stay there. Or if you can, lift the right arm up off the floor. Good, lower the right hand back down. Bring that right leg across and bend the right knee behind the left, just like you're sitting in a chair with your legs crossed. Take that right leg back, press through the heel, lift the left arm. I think I said lift the right arm last time, don't listen to me. Bring it back down. Try it once more. The leg goes to the right, the foot's flat. Heel lifts, heel lowers, heel lifts, heel lowers, heel lifts, heel lowers, leg slides back, press through the heel, lift the left hand off the floor, lower the left hand down, bring that right leg across, bend at the knee. You may want to send those hips back a bit and back up. Perhaps you can tuck the 10 toes and lift both knees off the floor. Don't let your head hang. It's a heavy head. Knees come down. Uncross the knees. Again, you can go back to child's pose or tuck the toes. Send the hips up and back, downward dog. It's up to you. Bring the knees down. Keep the 10 toes tucked. Bring your bottom back to your heels. If this is uncomfortable, you can either slide a blanket under the calf or under the thighs, between the thighs and the calves, or you can come right up here onto your knees. But feel that little bit of toe torture, really good for your feet. And the more you feel it, the more you should do this. You can lift the arms, lift them all the way up. Otherwise, lift to where you can. Make tight fists. Squeeze the air out of the lower abdominals and then exhale, release. Wiggle your fingers, shake the wrists, and again, tighten, really tight, 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 and release. Shake it out. Place your hands, lower your elbows back down, tap into the tops of the feet. Good, tuck the left toes under, stretch the leg back. Think about the hips being as even as you can and the core of the body engaged. Slide that leg out to the left, place the foot sole on the floor. So think, press big toe mound, little toe mound in the center of the heel so you really get that arch lifting. Now my hip went way over. Try to bring that right hip above the right knee. Now lift the left heel up, lower it down like you're wearing high heels. Lift the heel, lower it down, lift the heel, lower it down. Slide the leg back, tuck the toes, square the hips, lift the right arm off the floor, lift the leg if you want to. Toes come down, hand comes down, the left leg comes across the right, you bend at the knees. Now if you get a deeper stretch with your toes tucked, by all means, tuck them. Otherwise, Put all 10 of the toes on the floor. Good. Uncross, slide the leg back, lift, lower. You can go to child's pose here or tuck the toes and find your downward dog, walking it out. Explore the distance between your feet, between your hands. Coming back down, pausing, reset your foundation. Tuck the left toes, take it back. Bring the left over to the left. Root the foot. Heel lifts, heel lowers, heel lifts, heel lowers. Lift, lower. Slide it back. Press through the heel. Lift the right arm, lift the leg, depending on how you're feeling today. Hand comes down, toes comes down, leg goes over. Knee tucks. Now this time you may want to tuck the toes, lift the knees, breathing. Knees come down, slide the leg back, bring it in, tuck the toes, send the hips back, stay in child's pose, or find downward dog. Walk that downward dog out. Now, if you are on child's pose, you can come to tabletop and do a variation of this. You lift the right leg off the floor, you bend the left knee, and you bring the right knee behind the left. So if you are in tabletop, you do it just like we did before. Up and down. Left leg comes up, comes behind right, hips go up and back. Up and down. Keep going. If you're in child's pose, it goes behind and back. Or sorry, if you're in tabletop, and behind and back. You can do it on your elbows if that's what you need. If you're in downward dog, try one more on each side. Breathing. When you finish, equalize, whether you're in tabletop or downward dog, and then find your way into a standing either half or full fold. Do the variation that works for you. Lift your hands off the floor or put your elbows on your thighs if you're halfway, and just give your wrists a shake. Open and close the fists. You can hold the elbows if you're in the full fold and sway a little bit from side to side, but keep the foot soles firmly grounded. And then release the arms. Walk your hands up the legs, coming up slowly, letting the head be the very last thing to come up. It's good. Roll the shoulders back a few times. Roll them forward a few times. And go back and forth from your toes to your heels. So try not to bend at the hip creases. Stay as one unit, just going forward and back, forward and back. Your feet can be closer together or farther apart. Just know foundationally what's better for you. Good, then let the movement stop. Stand in that strong, powerful mountain pose. Bring the arms forward. Hook your thumbs. Palms face the floor. Now, if your shoulders hurt, you can always put your hands on the hips. Come up on the balls of your feet. Your drishti is to the tops of your hands. And twist to the right. Try to keep your hips pointing straight ahead. Come back to the center, lightly releasing the shoulders, and then twist the other way. Come back to the center. If you know you can't squat, stay here, balancing on the balls of the feet. Otherwise, lift the heels, come down into the squat. Bring yourself back up. Pause, draw the shoulders down the back. Twist once more to the right, hips pointing forward. Both arms straight. One elbow's going to want to bend. Back to the center. Pause. Connect top and bottom half. Make sure you're not in a back bend. Back to the center. Pause. Squatting if you can. Leave it out if you need to. Coming up. Heels lower. Release the hands. Turn the palms forward. Turn the pinky fingers slightly up. Bend the knees. Send the hips back. Now, if you know you need more distance between the knees and the feet for your back or your hips or your ankles, do that. Right now, I have no connection. I have a really overarched back. Find the natural curve of your spine. Be strong in your chair. Send your hips back. Pick your 5 toes on each foot, so 10 toes. Pick them up. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good. Lower, lower, lower. Fingertips point to the floor. Gaze is down without hanging your head. If this is enough, don't go any farther. Otherwise, point your fingers to the wall behind so they're along your hips, your side body. Drop the head down and don't move the arms. Just begin to straighten the legs. Knees bend. Fingers are pointing to the wall behind you. Fingers point to the floor. Fingertips point forward. Torso lift. Pinky fingers slightly up. Chest lifts. Relax in your chair. Breathe. 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 Hips back. Shoulders down. Chest open. Good. Sit a little lower in the chair. Fingers point to the floor. Face parallel to the floor. Fingers point to the wall behind. Perhaps you begin to straighten the legs. Perhaps you don't. Breathing. Knees bend. Fingers point to the floor. Fingers point forward. Pinky fingers come up. And all the way up. Lower the arms. Let the arms swing. Connect with your breath. Just notice sensations in your body. Try not to judge them, but just notice them. Good. And then move your feet so that they're wider than your hips and the outside edges of your feet are parallel. The right hand goes in the low back. You twist to the right. You slide this left hand down the leg and you may be here halfway. Come up on the diagonal, back to the center, switch. Right slides down, you might go halfway, sending that right hip way back and back up. Other option is right hand in back, left arm up, twist, fold. This left hand grabs the right ankle. Send that left hip over to the left. Come up with the ear by the arm on the diagonal. Come to the center. Switch your arms. Remember, this hand is in the low back to remind you to take the breath into the low back, not hanging out in your back bends. Breathing. That right hip goes up and back. You extend through the right arm. Come up on that left diagonal. Back to the center. See if you can repeat it at least once more on each side, maybe twice. Be mindful that the legs aren't locked. Remember, when the body is locked, it's not a strong body. You need that steady ease. Come up. Notice how many breaths you took. And notice if the breath was a calm breath, or was it a forced breath, or were you holding your breath? Let's try one more on each side. You know, you can always pause, have a sip of your coffee. I know you're lucky enough to have coffee in these classes. Breathing, breathing. Know what brings you up. Remember, the standing postures, the foundation is in the feet. So if I'm not using my legs, I might look like this. But if I rise right up out of the very arches of my feet, I'm fully aware of my strength and the energy in my body. Neck is long. your eyes, they can be open or closed. What's important is that you still have awareness. Now bend the knees. You may need to reset your foundation. Go halfway, because I know that I have a little bit of low blood pressure, and often I'll get dizzy if I bend forward too fast. Check in and know, is this enough for you? Or can you take those peace fingers, pointer and middle under the big toes, touch your thumbs, that's your yoga mudra, then bend the knees, and think if you were on your back, this would be happy baby. This might be more than enough for you, or you may be able to drop the head and begin to straighten the legs. But remember, your straight and my straight might not be the same. A little bit of rocking might be what you need, neck long, then knees bent, face parallel to the floor. You either place your palms on your thighs to come up or extend the arms and bring yourself all the way back up. Lower the arms down, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, and pause in this strong mountain pose. And remember, if I was to take this picture of your mountain and turn it upside down, it would be a headstand. So know how strong this majestic mountain is. Then come to the front of the mat, go back and forth from your toes to your heels a bit. Find your foundation about hip width apart. Bring your hands to your hips. Keep your left foot where it is, and step your right foot just slightly back. So not a full-on massive warrior, but a smaller warrior. Front knee, left knee above the heel. Take your hands into this diamond position and place it on the sacrum, that flat bony part of your back. It's good, knees bent. Start to go halfway forward. Shoulders are open. Good, come back up, straighten the leg. Bend the knee, front hip back, back thigh forward, 10 toes lift, halfway. Come up, straighten the leg. Knee bends, front hip back, back thigh forward, shoulders are open. Knee stays bent, come up, straighten the leg, step forward with the right foot. Left foot goes back, foot's at a slight angle, square the hips, bend the knee. So front hip back, back thigh forward, halfway forward, shoulders are even, neck is in line with the spine. Coming back up, front hip back, back thigh forward, straighten the leg. Knee bends, front hip back, back thigh forward. Bow forward, breathing. Come up, front hip back, back thigh forward. Straighten the leg. Some of you did it 3 times. Some of you did it 4 times. Halfway, shoulders are even. Breathing, you feel the breath in the low back, you're not in a back bend. Coming up, straighten. Try to do the same number on each side. Remember, don't do what I do because I always lose count. Do what you need to do for you. Think about the action of the legs. Coming up, straighten, bring the left foot forward. Now you can repeat that same thing once more on each side, or bring the hands to the hips, take the left leg, or keep the left foot where it is, step the right leg back, find that warrior position, bring the arms up into this goal post position. Good, so elbows and shoulders in line, wrists above elbows, front knee bent. You bow forward. Stay there, or extend the arms and come forward. You bend the knee, go to goalpost arms, keep the knee bent, come up. Straighten the leg, front hip back, back thigh forward. Knee bends, front hip back, back thigh forward, halfway where you can stay. Or extend the arms, straighten the legs, draw the hip back. Bend the knee halfway, goalpost arms up. Straighten the legs, straighten the arms. Bend the elbows, bend the knee. Hip back, halfway. Or hip up and back like downward dog. Straighten. Bend, bend, up, straighten. Step forward. Step back with the left, set your foundation, decide what you're doing with your arms. Front hip back, back thigh forward, all 10 toes lift. Coming halfway, staying there. Or straightening the arms, send the hip up and back, breathing. Knee bends, elbows bend, come up, straighten hip back. Breathing in, breathing out. Do what's right in your body. Don't do something just because I'm doing it. Keep your breath strong, front hip back, back thigh forward. Weight even on the foundation, which is your feet. That downward dog movement through the hips, the knees not locked. One more time. Breathing, breathing. Unclench the toes. Try not to put all the weight in your fingers. Stepping forward. Pause. Notice what you notice about you. Hands to hips or arms up. It's up to you. Bending over to the right. Coming all the way up and over to the left. Coming all the way up. Bring the hands to the hips. Slide them to the glutes or down the backs of the thighs. The hips press forward. You use your legs, create space in the low back, gentle back bend, breathing. Use the strength of your legs to bring you up. Bend the knees, readjust your foundation, your feet if you need to, go halfway, and then go all the way forward if it's a day to go all the way forward. Use your breathing. Place your hands on the floor. Step back to plank. Follow the rhythm of your breath. You can always go tabletop, then put your elbows down and go to half plank. Leave this out if you want. You roll so the 10 toes point right and you drop your hips left. You come back, toes tucked. Hips go right, toes go left. Back to the center. Pause, knees down. Tops of feet to floor. Bottom back to heel. Back to tabletop. Keep the feet on the floor. Bend the elbows, lower the body down. Come up, forehead, nose, chin, chest. Lift the hands, gentle cobra. Hands down. Press up, tabletop. Bottom back to heels, child's pose where you can stay. Or lift the hips, tuck the toes, and find downward dog. You can always go tabletop. Lift right leg, square the hips, flex the foot, unlock the left knee. Right leg goes down, left comes up. Neck long, breathing. Take it down. Find your way to a standing full or half fold. It's up to you. Either walk the hands up the legs or extend the arms forward. Come up with the ears between the arms. Lower the arms down. Arms come up or hands to hips, shoulders down. Bending right. Coming all the way up, soften the rib cage, bend to the left. Coming all the way up, add that back bend. Place the hands where you need them to. Open the chest. Back bends are stimulating postures. They open the front body. They're good if you have any breathing problems. Get that chest open. Use your glutes without overusing them. And if you're compressing the low back, lift up out of it. It's about creating space. Use the strength of your legs to come up into a half or a full fold, knowing you have full ability to adjust your foundation. Work with your breath. From here, step back to plank, or you can go onto your hands and knees and go to a half plank position to do this. What's better for you? Your hips drop left, your toes point right. Back to half or full plank. Go the other way, move the shoulders apart. Back to half or full plank. Knees come down, send your hips back, child's pose. Bring yourself back up, lower yourself down onto your belly. Come up, forehead, nose, chin, chest, gentle cobra, lift the hands. Hands come down, press down, back up onto the hands and knees, bottom back to heels. Stay there or lift the bottom, tuck the toes and find your downward dog. Walk that downward dog out. Bring yourself back onto your hands and knees to tabletop. Tuck your 10 toes under. You can either walk your hands back to your knees, or if you know a squat isn't good for you, find your way onto your back, however you can. If you are able to lift your knees, pause in the squat, walk yourself forward a step or two, and then go from your toes to your heels to your bottom, back onto your back. Do that. Take a moment just to rock it out. Reposition the neck, so support it if you need support. Keep your right thigh into your chest. Draw the left leg out. If your back's bothering you, put the left foot on the floor. Switch. Bring the other thigh into the chest. Think hips even, shoulders even. Natural curve of the neck. Just repeat that once or twice more on each side. When you're done, pause at the center, just rock it out a bit. Place your feet on the floor, stretch the legs out if the back doesn't bother you, otherwise keep the feet on the floor. Take a deep breath in and just tighten the body as tightly as you can, and a long, loud surrendering exhalation. Take time, settle into Shavasana, give yourself what you need. Remember, this is your time, and it's time that's so important to replenish, nurture your body, your mind, your spirit. Come back to that place of I am breathing in, I am breathing out. Let the mind soften, let the heart open. Just trying to embrace and welcome these moments of stillness. Remembering that if you find that you need a little longer in Shavasana, give yourself permission to stay there. Otherwise, slowly let the awareness come back. Gentle movement, return to your body. Perhaps rolling over onto one side if your back's bothering you. Finding your way back up to a seated position. Taking a breath in and just gathering up all the positive energy you can. Bring it into your heart. Release as you exhale what you don't need to carry around with you. Bow your head to your heart in gratitude to yourself and to your body. being grateful for all that we have and all that we don't have. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. Don't forget to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. All our teachers are volunteering their time for these great classes for you all to enjoy. Have a great day.